Hey team, Browncoat from Koru-Cottage here, and I am bringing you a video for FIREWALL 0 Hour. It's a PSVR exclusive tactical shooter coming out August 28th. What I thought I'd do is give it a bit of a rundown as to why it's the new hotness, and maybe if people aren't familiar with some of the ins and outs, do a bit of a rundown of what needs to be understood. Before I go any further, please hit the subscribe button if you want to see more content from Koru-Cottage, and I even really appreciate a like on my video. Just kind of makes me feel better about the work that I put into it. Alright, we are also hoping that we get a review code from Sony for this. It's sounding pretty promising at the moment, so there should be review coverage coming up on the site later on after August 28th. So a wee bit of background first. First Contact Entertainment are the developers. They're a specialist VR studio out of Santa Monica, California. There's roughly 30 to 40 people in the team, and they're experienced too. They are ex-Microsoft Studios, Infinity Ward, Blizzard. They've worked on Call of Duty, so they understand shooters. Of note, the creative strategist is Adam Orth, who is one of those guys who, unfortunately, when he was at Microsoft Studios, got caught up in that always on debacle with the Xbox One launch, and he went on defending it in Twitter and kind of got flamed online and ended up moving on from Microsoft Studios. But he was the guy who went on and made Adrift, which was a pretty slick space VR game. Then he folded his studio into First Contact Entertainment. So there is a bit of grunt behind the studio. They're definitely experienced guys, but I suppose you would say they're unproven. They did release a game called ROM Extraction on the Oculus and Vive, I think, a couple of years ago. It is coming to PSVR, and it got mixed reviews. This is kind of like the one that they're banking on of being their hit, and it's looking promising at this point. So anyway, before I go any further, I just want to give a bit of a rundown of the bits and pieces that make this game up. In my IRL, I have a wee bit to do with knocking on doors, fatal funnels, bossing doors, that sort of stuff. So I do understand the concepts that have been implemented in this game, and I'm curious to see how they put it together. So anyway, bit of a rundown. First off, keep in mind Rainbow Six Siege. It's that same idea, attacking and defending. 4v4 tactical objective-based shooter, that's what they're calling it. It's online only, except for there's 9 training missions, and then you can play cooperatively, 4 players against AI, and then there's proper PvP public matches, 4v4. There's XP that you earn, and then there's currency also that you earn to buy upgrades and things like that. If you die, no respawns, just like Siege. You can monitor cameras, and there are revives. There are 12 operators with unlockable skills and perks. There are microtransactions, but only for cosmetics. If weapon attachments are unlocked, they can be swapped onto other guns that can take the same attachments. So if you've got an M4 with a red dot, you can chuck that red dot onto an MP5 potentially if it's got the same rail system. Controllers that you can use, DualShock and aim, no move controller support. From what I've read in a few previews, the aim controller is absolutely the way to go, but the DualShock works great in Farpoint, so I suspect it works great here too. Sony are publishing this game, so by the sound of it, there is long-term support planned for it, the way that Farpoint has had PvP, it's had co-op added after the fact, all for free. Hopefully Sony sees this game's success and pumps some more resources into it. And the last part is it has melee, which for a VR game is a bit unusual, but yeah, you will be able to come up behind people and melee them. So that's kind of the 10 main points I wanted to highlight. There's a couple of unknowns. I'm not sure if it's going to have proximity audio, which would be awesome, where essentially you can hear the other team talking if they're talking too loud into their mics. I'm not sure, that might end up a griefing thing if they had that, I don't know, but that would be cool if it was in there. I'm just really keen to see how this game pulls together. I think that probably one of the best rundowns I've seen so far is Upload VR website. I'll chuck a link in below. They have actually had like 4 or 5 hours hands-on with the game, and had some pretty positive things to say and asked some pretty clever clarification questions as well. So jump over to them and have a read if you want to learn any more. But otherwise, keep an eye out for August 28th when this game drops, and keep an eye out on Koru-Cottage for our review when it comes to be. Alright, hey, thanks very much for dropping by. I really appreciate it. If you've made it to the end of the video, hit that subscribe button, give us a like, and remember to swing past Koru-Cottage.com. Alright, thanks very much. Bye.